Hi, today in this video, I want to talk about how to prepare for an interview if you're called for an Ashoka interview or IGIDR interview or any other interview apart from an ISI interview. So I will tell you about the ISI interview in a different way. Prepare your basics well. So you have mainly 5 subjects. For example, micro, macro, maths, stats, and econometrics. So these are the 5 major subjects. And then you have some subsidiary subjects, for example, development eco, international eco, these things. Mainly, it's not that the interviewer will have to ask only from these. I mean, they can ask it from anywhere whatsoever. But I'm just telling you how to prepare for these interviews. So I'm not telling you what questions they will be asking. Nobody knows that. And it is not even generally true that they will be asking the way I'm telling you. They can ask you anything under the sun. But in general, in the past, the way they have asked is this. So prepare your basic subjects well. For example, prepare your micro well, macro, maths, stats, econometrics, etc. Now, when I say prepare micro well, what do I mean? You must have written a few registers for micro while you're preparing for the MA entrance. Now start asking yourself basic questions. So if I ask you that if I'm the examiner and I want to ask you basic questions from consumer theory, then what is it that I will ask? I might ask you, okay, what are lexicographic preferences? Okay. Are lexicographic preferences continuous? What do you mean by monotonicity of preferences? When do monotonicity of preferences assumptions fail? Then I can ask you simple thing. For example, diminishing, what do you mean by diminishing MRS? What is the relationship between diminishing MRS and quasi-concavity of the utility function? Then I can ask you, these are basic questions, and keep on asking yourself these questions. So you must have prepared many things in your notes. Just ask yourself, okay, what kind of demand functions you have corner solutions? Give me an example. So just think like an examiner, what they can ask you. So think it like this way. They have already tested you on your knowledge for economics and solving questions. Now, if they want to ask you anything, they will be asking you, do you remember your basics well? And other thing could be, for example, you say, I like econometrics. What could be the basic questions? For example, you might ask you, what is a dummy variable trap? When do dummy variable trap arises? What does multicollinearity has to do with dummy variable trap? How can you avoid dummy variable trap? So can you have the quantitative variable also in the same equation when you have one qualitative dummy variable as an independent variable? Can you have a dummy variable as a dependent variable? So keep on asking yourself these questions. You must have written about all of these things in your notes. So create small questions and keep on asking yourself these. If I were you, I mean, from every page of my register, I would have written 2 or 3 questions. Just write as many questions as you can. So starting from the first lecture, start writing. Let's say, I mean, you're writing for macro. Keep on writing. How many questions you can write? Can you write 200, 500 questions? You can. I mean, if your admission is based on this, why not do it? Do it. That if your admission is based upon making these questions, why not? Just do it and keep on asking yourself these questions. Keep on asking. Convert every concept which you have done into a question and keep on asking yourself these. And then ask yourself the jumbled up questions also. So maybe you have written 200, 300 questions. Ask yourself the jumbled question. Now, if I were to take your stress interview, so I would be asking you, okay, I'll ask you, what is White's heteroscedasticity test? You will tell me something. And if I gauge that you're able to answer, I'll move on to the next question. Okay, what are the implications in case if you ignore serial correlation. You answer me something, and I understand that you are able to answer. Okay, what is Darwin-Watson test? You answer me something, you are able to answer that. Then I ask you, what are the consequences of ignoring multicollinearity? Then you fumble upon. And then I start picking things up. Okay, what is variance inflation factor? What is tolerance factor? You fumble more. Okay, I get your weak point. I keep on asking yourself more from that, more from that. So when examiner is asking you these questions, don't think that he's trying to reject you. He's trying to see how far you can face the pressure, how far you can face the stress. So given the similar question from the other individual, if he's able to answer more and confidently, then he or she will be selected. Then there is the another set of questions. Another set of questions could be, for example, you can have questions like which are cut crossing the topics. So they might ask you, okay, how do you see Russian war, Russia-Ukraine war affecting India? You start thinking about it in various ways. So just think about all the models which you have done in macro. So can you put that Russia-Ukraine war somehow in all of these models? Can you think of how it is, if you have to depict it in some way? Can you depict it in ISLM? Can you depict this in ADAS? Can you think about Phillips curve? Can you think about wage contracts? Can you think about, I don't know what? I mean, can you think about the open economy repercussions, whatever it is? So think about those things. How has COVID impacted the various sectors? I might ask you that. And then start thinking about it, that how, in case if I want to put this in ADAS diagram, how if I want to put this in ISLM diagram, how if I want to put it, so all the models in macro, try to think and link across how would you do this? That's the way, right? Then the next set of questions which they can ask and nobody can predict that is, and of course, nobody can predict anything. So what they can also ask you to solve simple numerical questions as well. Simple numerical questions they can ask you. They might ask you, okay, I'll give you one simple difference equation and can you just solve that? Okay, I'll give you something on the simultaneous equation model. Can you solve it? Okay. They can ask you, they can give you some simple model, your demand and supply curves. You have both upward sloping and the upward sloping demand curve and upward sloping supply curve. And then they might ask you, okay, can you tell whether this is a stable equilibrium or not? Is this stable equilibrium from the point of view of prices? Is this stable equilibrium from the point of view of quantity? So think about those questions. So they can also give you some simple numerical to solve. They might ask you, please pick up something, pick up the pen, go on the board, and we are now telling you some equation, try to solve this. They might give you some question like solve this integral, solve or differentiate this or that, whatever. Then there can be some kind of question like, for example, they might ask you, okay, what is your favorite subject? Now, when you say your favorite subject, you need to be a little more prepared in that subjects. So you might say, okay, I like micro. Okay, I'll say, okay, micro is very big. Tell me something specific from micro. You will say, okay, sir, please ask me something from consumer theory. I'll say, okay, consumer theory is again very big. Tell me something more specific from it. Then you will say, okay, within consumer theory, ask me something from intertemporal. So intertemporal, they can ask you like, I'll ask you, you know what is the discount factor? What is an interpretation for the discount factor? So if your impatience is more than the market rate of interest, then what happens? In case the market rate of interest is going to increase, what happens to savings? Can you draw the intertemporal budget line? When do you have a kinged intertemporal budget line? Can you give an example? Now superimpose some indifference curve on that kinged intertemporal budget line. Can you find out the optimal? So like this. So I'm not saying that they will ask you what is your favorite subject. They might ask you anything. I'm not saying that this is the only way you can prepare, but this is one of the way you can prepare. So I don't have questions which I can tell you what they can ask. They are gods, right? These professors. They know their subject in and out, and they are not sitting there to tease you. They're sitting there to help you out. So if they're asking questions, don't think they're on the other side of the table. They're trying to gauge whether you know or you have prepared well or not, and you have prepared well. That is the only reason you have got your name there. So prepare it in this way. So I'll just sum this up. First of all, prepare your basic questions for each subject. Prepare it well. Prepare your registers well. Prepare the question, what is your favorite subject? Within favorite subject, any favorite topic. This is not necessary that they are going to ask you only from your favorite subject. They might start from there, but then they can slowly move on to any other subject, whatever they like. It all depends on the examiner. They can also ask you some current economic situation and how can you interpret this in terms of the models which you have studied. This is particularly macro, but can be also micro sometimes. Then they can ask you, the next set of questions which they can ask you is numerical based. So they can tell you, okay, we are giving you one simple numerical, try to solve it, right? Try to solve that. So this is the way you should be preparing, whether it is IGIDR, whether it is TERI, whether it is Ashoka. I think this will remain as the way. In ISI, they will generally give you 2 or 3 questions to solve on the board. They'll be difficult numerical questions. I'm not saying that Ashoka cannot ask you that. I'm saying on the past record what they have done. Maybe this time they can ask. I mean, they can give you some very difficult numerical to solve, and they might want to see what's your thinking. I mean, they can also take up an interview like an ISI interview is. But based on the past records, they have not taken it up. So you should be prepared. Now you will say, from where should I prepare? For an ISI kind of questions. Well, you already have your 10 years, you have your assignments, you have your test, do it. You cannot predict what they will be asking. They know every kind of book, they know every kind of question, they can ask you anything. In the ISI interview, generally what they do is that they keep on giving you hints. And if you're smart enough, which I'm sure you are, then only you have got this call. You should be able to pick up the hints and then try to answer. Are you getting the point? So I've told you something about how to prepare for the IGIDR interview, for Ashoka interview, and for any other institute's interview. But this is, with a disclaimer, I'm telling you, this is not the only way they can ask. I mean, they are very creative. I don't know what they will be asking. And also prepare the question, tell me about yourself. So tell whether from which college you have passed, and if you have something more academic achievement which you can tell, please do that. If you are telling that you want to join any particular institute, so in case if they ask you why IGIDR, why Ashoka, why TERI, research about that organization. Research about what these institutes are researching on, their professors. Be interested in their research. Don't just go, okay, I got my name and I've been there. No. So tell IGIDR, tell Ashoka that I've been following some of the professors, I've been following their research, and I'm interested in that. So that will help you out. And read 1 or 2 papers. So in Ashoka, we have some of our very revered professors from the school, Ashwini Deshpande ma'am, Bhaskar Datta sir. Just see what kind of work they are doing. Read some of them. They will be glad in case if you are reading their work before even coming. Similarly, read what IGIDR professors are doing, and for any other institute also. Be interested in that institute. Don't just go, I don't know why I want to join. That is not the way. I just want to do MA Economics. You can do it from any other university also. Why here? I got my name here. That's not the point. Be interested. Be smart enough. So why you want to join this? How does your interest align with the institute's interest? So if you want to do research in certain kind of the field, and some of the professors are also doing that, so read one or two papers. So show them that you are interested. That is the way. Any person would be glad in case if you have read their work before. So I'm not saying that you need to butter them out. No, but I'm just trying to tell, be interested in their work. Be interested in the work which institute is churning out. Huh? So I hope I have told you. And one more thing is, few people ask me about development economics and international eco. You can tell whichever favorite subject you want to tell, right? So just prepare your notes well. Prepare these main theories about international eco. Prepare main theories about development eco, and prepare it well. And take an interview like it's an intelligent discussion which is going on. So it's not like there is the person who is trying to shoot questions on you, and of course they're trying to judge you. But you can also take it like that it's an opportunity which is given to you to sit with someone who is very intelligent. Those professors are very, very intelligent. I mean, they are gods in their field. So have some reverence towards them, have some humility towards them, and be grateful that you have been called for an interview. You've been called to have such a discussion, and enjoy the process. Instead of, the more you want to put pressure on yourself, no, I want to clear this, the less the chances are going to be. The more relaxed you are, higher are the chances that you will be able to clear. Be cautiously aware. Be cautiously cautious. I mean, you should be a little more relaxed about everything. And supposedly, if you have prepared all your basics well, if you have prepared the past years well, if you have prepared everything, whatever you have to do, you have done that well, then don't you think that you have taken care of the process? Outcome will take care of itself. Instead of just the moment you go before an examiner, instead of just thinking, oh my God, what will happen to me? Think like it's an opportunity which is given to you. But you can thank for that opportunity. You can be grateful for that moment only if you have prepared well. There is no harm. I mean, sometimes you may not be able to answer every question, and that is completely right. I'm not saying that you will be able to answer every question, but what you can probably do is that if you don't know the answer, don't bluff these professors. I'm again and again telling you, they are very, very intelligent. They can understand that you are trying to bluff them, and that will not make a good impression. Just tell them politely, sir, I can't recall it right now. Ma'am, I can't recall it right now. So they might ask you something which you will be able to answer. Think about it. You have cleared their written. Clearing written itself is a big thing, which you have cleared one thing, and then you are trying to clear it. So you can just pat your back for at least one thing, that you have cleared the written entrance. You cleared one step, which is very good. Do every individual who sits for an exam is able to clear? No, you have been able to clear. So you must have something in you. So because you have that thing in you, pick yourself up, prepare your basics well. If you know the question, try to answer it in a better way. If you don't know the question, just tell them, don't bluff them. So I hope this video must be useful for you. Thank you very much, Beta.